Welcome to Back on the Broomstick,
a modern witch's spoken word grimoire,
where two witchy friends from way back are reconnecting to their pagan roots after a long period of mundanity.
We're rewalking the path of the wise and trying out all the latest spells, rituals, and magical theory in today's witchcraft and pagan practices.
So grab your wand and your incense,
your cauldron and your crystals,
and join us
as we get
back on the broomstick.
Hi, and welcome to Back on the Broomstick. I'm Layla, and on this in-between episode, we're talking about liminal spaces, thresholds, and new beginnings. We're talking New Year's Eve magic.
And I am Chelle, and let me tell you, no one likes a good New Year's Eve more than I do. 'Tis the season to start anew, new beginnings, new calendar year. I feel like as a witch, there's like 4 or 5 different New Years here I'm dealing with between October and now. But this is where we hop from literally one year to the next, and we are still in that liminal space. And you're in that space, and you're transferring to a new year. So hey, I'm ready for it.
Being a liminal space is really what makes the calendar New Year's Eve special. There's nothing celestial about it. There's really no real reason why January 1st is magical or special in any way, except for belief. The fact that every person just about on the whole entire world, anyone that follows the current calendar, believes that one year ends, one year dies, and is put to rest at midnight on December 31st. And a brand new year begins on January 1st. Something rises from the ashes of the old. That space right there, that belief is enough power, enough magic to give that man-made, calendar made up date magic and power. And that's what a liminal space is. It's a space between here and there. And so even though we've totally made up the here and the there, it's still a magical space. And so it's a wonderful place to set intentions, to work with manifestation, to, well, maybe not if you're Chelle, but for a lot of other people, to set New Year's resolutions.
You always have to bring up stuff that I don't like. We have talked about this in years past. I am not a resolution person. And for those of you that haven't listened to back episodes, just real quick, I want to point out, I feel like resolutions are people lying to themselves. You are just telling yourself lies, and you are just feeding yourself some bullshit.
And you're not wrong. Studies back you up. Most people give up their New Year's resolutions by February.
I mean, if we were all going to lose weight by the end of January, don't you think we would have done that like 20 years ago? Yeah. No, I want cookies.
No, I like your idea of goals. I like that. And I've kind of adopted it into a word or a phrase. Last year I had a word and I kept that word in my mind. Like whenever I was in a situation, I was like, oh yeah, remember that word. That would help me through different situations. So by having a word or phrase for your year instead of a resolution gives you more of the opportunity to pick a power word. Maybe you need a word like motivation, or maybe you need a phrase like reach for the stars, or an idea, a thought, a way of being that you can reach for during the year when you need that extra little bit of help. It's not as specific as I'm going to complete an art project every week this year. It's the word motivation. And then you can remember that word. It becomes a touchstone, a power word, a spell word for you to reach for throughout the year whenever you need that extra energy. So the idea is to pick a word or a phrase that will help give you a quality that you want to have more of in the coming year. And repeat that word over and over again. That becomes your intention setting, your mantra from now until New Year's. And then on New Year's, you adopt that as your word of the year. Then whenever you're in a tricky situation, you say that word, motivation. And that gives you that power, that spell, that touchstone, so that you can call on that energy for your 2026. So a little something different to do other than setting a traditional New Year's resolution. I'm going to do that again this year, and I'm not sure what the word or phrase is, but I'll figure it out by the end of the year.
Guess what, friends? Layla's trying to take us all down a path of journaling again for 2026. Ooh, want to see my shocked face?
Is anyone surprised? So how about you, Shell? Is there anything like an intention or a goal that you do for New Year's Eve?
Goals, yes. Resolutions, no. Because I think in people might say, well, it's the same thing. I don't look at it as the same thing because I look at a resolution as something I've done wrong that I need to fix, or plans for the future, getting things in order, organizing what's going to happen in the next 12 months or the next season. These goals don't have to be a year long. These goals can be, what am I doing between now and Ostara? What do I need to accomplish to plant my seeds so that come summertime, I'm sowing the seeds that I want? I'm reaping what I've sown in the spring. I like to kind of chunk it out because long-term goals, again, like resolutions, they'll never come to fruition. So chunking it out, here to Ostara, here to Beltane, what are my goals?
Oh, do you set all of those at the beginning of the year? Like pick those different sections of the year and say, this is my goal for this section, this is my goal for this one. Or do you set them as you go?
It's almost like setting an outline of your plan that you have to tweak as you go along. This is obviously what I want to accomplish in this quarter, next quarter, the following quarter. But by the end of the first quarter, by the time we hit spring, things may have changed and I may need to alter that plan. And I think that's the biggest thing between goals and resolutions is with goals, I feel like I have flexibility, whereas resolutions, I feel like I'm locked in.
I really like using the word or the phrase because that's less of a thing with a definitive outcome and more,
A mindset.
exactly, more of a way of being.
Yep.
And so that just really helps me. If there's a way that I want to be or a quality that I want to have more of, I can just choose a word or a phrase to remind me of that. And that really helps me to be present in that.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good way to look at it because you pick a phrase, you pick a deed, those are things that can fall away. A word is just a word.
Right.
Strength, strength, strength. You
Right,
know?
right, exactly. And one of the things I did was I had a small smooth stone, just a simple smooth river stone that I really liked. And when I set that word, I was rubbing the stone and charging that stone with the word. And so whenever I needed that particular energy with me, I would put it in a pocket or in my bag or carry it with me. And the rest of the time it lived on my altar. And you could be fancier. You could create something. You could create it out of clay, or we've been doing salt dough a lot lately. You could do it in that. You could carve it into wood or into stone, either a sigil or a symbol or the word itself, and carry that token with you, but charge it magically so it has that liminal space energy, the between here and there energy to carry you forward through the year.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that because there was something that I was planning on symbolically doing that involved a thing and not necessarily words or rituals. So to kind of take it back several months, and I'll be honest, I don't remember the person who sent this to me at the moment, but we had talked in late spring about, how I was having some job pressure and my day job was really kind of bringing me down and kicking me in the gut. For my birthday in May, a listener had sent me a bracelet, a labradorite bracelet. And at the time, that particular stone was showing up everywhere, kind of as it's one of those keep you in order, but keep you safe kind of energies. And I thought it was super cool that this listener sent this to me for my birthday, not even knowing the full scope of what I was dealing with at the time. And this has kind of kept me going, kept me grounded, and it's always there. I have worn that every single day since the listener mailed it to us for my birthday. And I was actually thinking of taking it off on New Year's Eve because I feel like I'm in a different place with my work right now. So it's kind of what you're saying, similar.
Yeah, you just put it intentions into jewelry, which I love, rather than a
Right.
talisman.
I feel like now I've kind of moved past those issues and kind of don't need that 24-hour wear anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's great. That's another good thing to do on New Year's Eve that you're going to be doing a releasing, basically, releasing something that has already served you, something that has already worked for you. You're ready to let that go. So again, that liminal space is a perfect time to do that.
Make room for new. So, whether you're setting intentions for the coming year or wrapping up your intentions from the previous year, that's what the liminal space is all about. You're dealing with the now and the forward, but you're still dealing with the now and the past. And you've got to make that transition from 2025 to 2026 on every level, spiritual, emotional, physical. It really, I don't know, as much as I say that the new year can be at Samhain, or sometimes people say the new year, when it comes to making that leap over the threshold, this is my new year in that sense. I just had a really hysterical vision of me leaping over the threshold.
I can see you in tights and a tutu.
In my vision of that, it was the tights, but more like the fool kind of tights.
We've also had some conversations recently, Chelle, the numerological significance of 2025 to 2026. The fact that this is a 9-year, an ending year. This is a whole ending cycle. And next year is a 1, the beginning, the 10, the beginning of the new cycle.
Oh, all hail the new cycle.
Right? I certainly hope so. So the energy is going to completely shift to new beginnings. So I really like that you were talking about wrapping up the old year and taking care of, not just releasing what didn't serve you, but letting go of the completed cycles. What were you able to complete? What did you accomplish in the year? Reflect on that in a good way. And you can kind of end the spells, end the things that you need to, and wrap all the things up for the year before starting into the brand new year.
So it's almost like coming in with no old baggage.
Yes, good and bad.
Yeah. Get rid of the baggage so that you can start anew, start fresh. Create new baggage.
If you're not creating baggage, are you really living? Have you really done all you could for the year? I have another spell for you, Chelle. Since you don't like resolutions, have you seen this spell going around? It's been around for a while, but it seems to be very, very popular lately. And it's called the 13 Wishes spell.
I have not, but I sure got wishes.
I have seen it all over the internet, and one of my circle members brought it up, and I really, really like it. It's very interesting. And I've decided to modify it a little bit because I know you have 0 patience, and this requires you to do workings for 12 consecutive nights. I've brought it down to 12 hours.
Okay, right up my alley.
There you go. So you're going to start this at 1 p.m. on New Year's Eve, but there's a little work to do beforehand.
Okay.
You don't have to start it then. You could do it all at once if you want to. It's sometime between now. This is the last Friday of the year, by the way. Pretty weird, right?
Wow.
So sometime between now and New Year's Eve, you need to write down on little slips of paper. And I saw someone online use joint paper, which I thought was a fabulous idea.
Goals.
Right? On little slips of paper, write down 13 wishes, 1 on each slip of paper, or goals or intentions that you have for the next year. 13 wishes, goals, intentions that you would like to have for 2026. You're going to roll them up or fold them up so you can't see what's on each one.
Okay.
And keep it in a little bowl or a jar or something, maybe on your altar or someplace where you can see it until New Year's Eve, just to give it that little extra energy boost. On New Year's Eve, starting at 1 p.m., each hour you're going to burn, without looking at it, one of those slips of paper.
Is that just because I don't like waking up early?
Partly. So starting at 1, you're going to burn your first slip of paper. Again, do not look at what it is. And then every hour, going until midnight, burn another paper without looking at it. At midnight, you will burn the 12th paper. That will leave 1 in your bowl.
Well, why do I want to leave 1?
I'm glad you asked. Each of the papers that you burned, the idea is you are sending those intentions, those goals, those wishes to the gods, to the universe, to the energies of Magick, to have them hopefully help you with those. The idea is by burning them, you bring these wishes to the attention of your gods, to the universe, so that they can help manifest that with you for the coming year.
Okay.
The last one, the one that remains, you open that one up, and that one is yours. That's the one that you need to work on for the year. So the idea is that last one is what you need to tend to. That's your goal, that's your responsibility for 2026.
So you're saying, and go easy on yourself when you're writing these things down.
Yeah, because one of them is going to be your responsibility.
Yeah. You saw where I was headed with that.
So be careful what you ask for, I guess. I don't know, because might have to do some heavy lifting. But I thought that was really interesting. I very much liked the idea of you have these goals for the year and you're giving 12 of them up to deity. 12 of them you're putting in the hands of a higher power. You're still thinking of them and you're still working on them because we know that if you have goals and you don't do anything about it, that negates half the magic. But the idea is you give up 12 of them to the deities, to the gods. But one of them is yours. You have to focus on that one. And I like that. I like the idea that something is still your responsibility, that you still have to do the work, most of the work, all the heavy lifting for that one last thing. And I like the symbology of that. And also, a little tip for you, because you will forget your wishes. I recommend that you write them down someplace other than the pieces of paper that you're going to burn, because otherwise you will forget them. So put them in something like a journal. So you don't forget, because Chelle, I know will forget. That way you know which ones you released, which ones went to deity, and then you'll have the last paper left in your bowl at midnight. You can open it up and see what your responsibility for 2026 will be.
Actually, I do like that very much. I might be mindful of what I write down, but I do like that very much.
It's just a little bit of a shorter version, so you don't have to do it for the 12 days of Yule, starting from Yule to the 1st.
You know, this is another fabulous thing about witchcraft is I am sure that this was designed to do over 12 days. Bless you for having the time. I don't know if it's my attention span. I don't know if it's how busy my life is, but the 12-hour thing works for me, and I probably would trail off and not be able to commit to the 12 days. It goes back to adapting magic to your life.
Exactly. And the other thing I was going to say is if you can't stay up or don't want to stay up until midnight, can you write all of these and then mix them up in a bowl and immediately burn 12 of them and keep the 13th? Yes.
Why not?
Yes, you can. Exactly.
Oh my God, you could do it over 12 minutes.
That's kind of cool. I like that. 1 a minute. Yeah, sure.
Whatever works. 12 days, 12 hours, 12 minutes. All
That's
good.
Right. Adaptability. These are all adaptable. As long as the symbology works, it will still work. Will something be more powerful if you do it over 12 days? Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe you won't be able to sustain the energy that long and you'll fizzle out. So it really depends on the witch and the magic.
No, Layla. I got to circle back to something you said.
Oh, no. What?
It is all about intention. And you mentioned with New Year's, it being collectively as a society, we believe that when we wake up on January 1st, that somehow everything's different and it's a new year. Same with Santa Claus and Krampus. You just got to believe, kids.
Yeah, we've all decided that that's a truth.
Right.
That belief gives it so much power.
So if your belief is in 12 minutes, that's no different than if my belief is 12 minutes and your belief is 12 days, I don't think that it's going to matter. You said, could it be more powerful? Maybe. I don't think so, because I think it all comes down to belief. And if you believe that you're good in 12 minutes, I got all the confidence in the world with 12 minutes as opposed to 12 days. But it comes down to that belief. If you believe that this is going to work in 12 minutes, it's gonna.
It does come down to that. However, we all have an infinite capacity to lie to ourselves.
Well, yeah.
And the thing is you can use that to your advantage, or it can be a disadvantage as far as belief and intention goes.
Well, that's true.
We say belief, intention all day long, but unless that belief is as powerful as truth, it won't work. You have to literally believe as if you were hypnotized. And if it's not there, if that belief is not true enough, it won't work. So, for example, when you're doing a money bowl and you don't want to put real money in it, so you use Monopoly money, you can tell yourself that that's real money. And you might be like, yeah, okay, that's real money. But if your subconscious does not truly believe that, you can pretend you have all the intention in the world. Your subconscious, your magical brain, will not engage enough to empower that spell.
Correct.
So if you can't convince your subconscious that Monopoly money is actually real money, enough for you to empower the spell with that belief, it's not going to work. It will not go anywhere. So yes, some people can do the magic over 12 minutes with the intention that that power and that energy is there. But some people will just say that they can, and they're not actually raising the energy that they need. So when we say the belief and the intention has to be there, we mean it really does.
Yeah, the action has to be there too.
We have done these spells enough. We have done this energetic work enough that getting into that mindset is easier. It's like a professional basketball player versus someone who just learned how to play basketball. The professional might be able to shoot 3-point shots with ease all day long, and the brand new player might have to practice and work at that. And occasionally they can hit a 3-point shot, but not every time. It's the same kind of
Layla,
thing.
you're right. But you are right because I didn't even think of that. And it is something that, maybe as starting out, you should invest the 12 days. Do a timer, write a sticky note on the fridge, do what you got to do. It's almost like creating that muscle memory. You have to create that muscle memory to get into that space because, like we've talked about getting into alpha in the past. And if you've done it and you've practiced it, muscle memory, you can get right into it instantly.
Yes.
Whereas if it's something that you're not used to, that could take you months, weeks or months to get into that space,
Right.
So, okay, you were right this time. Maybe it won't work in 12 minutes for everybody, but
And that's
when
okay.
you have that, yeah, you just start working on that magical muscle memory.
Yeah, it's like when you walk to that magical well, when you walk to the well of your magic, there's a path. It's well worn. Your feet can follow that path while your brain is thinking about work and while your hands are making dinner and you're doing something else. Your feet will walk that path to the magical well. If you're brand new and there's weeds and vines and leaves and hills and rocks and no path at all to be seen to your magical well, you need to build that up over time. That path will wear with use. It'll get there. And that's part of the fun. That's part of the joy of a craft is forming that path, is walking that path and learning what it looks like and feels like for you to build magic, to work with magic and to work with magical energy until it's second nature, until you can shoot that 3-point shot with ease or your feet can just walk that well-worn path.
Oh, I feel like I can hear my 4th grade teacher yelling in my ear, practice makes perfect.
That's exactly right. So yeah, 12 minutes will still work, even if you're not putting in as much energy. But it'll still definitely work. It's still a cool little spell, whether you do it in 12 minutes, 12 hours, or 12 days. It's all good.
All right, just do it in 12 days, people. Layla's right.
12 hours. 12 hours is plenty, I think. Lots of intention in 12 hours. Who's got 12 days? I don't know. Or you could add it. Maybe next year we'll add it to our Back on the Broomstick 12 Days of Yule annual tradition that we just started this year. Okay, so it's the first annual this year. It'll be the second annual next year. Whatever.
You got to start it sometime or it'll never be annual, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I need to take a moment.
Okay.
Now, Nancy, you know who you are. You are a peach. We love you. I need to tell you something, Nancy. You tickled my fancy with your mail. On Christmas Eve, I had to work at my day job for half the day. And as we've talked about in the past, I am a flip-flop all year round wearing person. So Nancy, I need you to know I wore the Krampus socks to work on Christmas Eve with my flip-flops so everybody could see them, and I love them so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Those are amazing. I love having my Krampus socks on.
You know, everybody who has sent us Yule gifts and Yule cards, you guys are damn amazing. We have giggled, we have cried, we have laughed our fool asses off, and you guys are fantastic. But I have to say, we have a listener, Layla, that we need to talk about. Last year, when we did our Yule exchange card, this wonderful listener sent us a family photo of her and her significant other and her children. What were they dressed as? Like Roman angels?
Yeah, it was almost like a Renaissance painting of angels in the sky. It was very cool.
You told us you do this every year, and that every year you have a tradition to do some wacky Christmas card with your family. I don't care if you don't send it till January. I still need this card because I have not got one this year, and I need to see what you have done with your family. I'm dying for this card, man.
Chelle has talked about this card since we got it last Yule.
Last year.
It was one of her favorites, and it's so fun. And the fact that this family has a tradition of doing it every year, I'm a little sad that we haven't gotten ours yet because it was epic. It was absolutely epic.
Christmas card goals, all I'm saying. And you guys are fantastic. And you guys made our Yule.
Thank you guys so much. I do very, very much appreciate it. I do also want to say a big thank you to all of our benefactors. Happy Yule, Happy New Year, Happy Winter Solstice, and thank you. Thank you very much for helping to keep the lights on for Back on the Broomstick. You guys are the reason why we're able to put this podcast out every week. Thank you very much.
You know, you guys always tell us how much that we mean to you guys. Don't for a second think that you guys don't mean just as much to us. We may not know your names or your faces, but you are just as wonderful, and we thank each and every one of you.
So I know we've already talked about tarot spreads, and you had your 12-card Wheel of the Year tarot spread that we talked about last episode. We're still kind of going through the 12 days of Yule where you pull one card a day.
Right.
It's up on our website if you want to go take a look at it. And just like the 13 Wishes spell, if you don't want to pull one card a day, if you want to do all of them at once, you certainly can.
Oh, see, now when it comes to tarot, no, pull one a day. Tarot's its own different thing.
It's really nice to do a looking forward spread in January. But one of the things that I also like to do, particularly on New Year's Eve, is to do a looking back spread. Just 3 cards in a downward pointed triangle on the left. What have I completed in 2025? What can I leave behind in 2025? And then 3 cards in an upward pointed triangle on the right. What do I still need to work on in 2026? Very simple. And it's just, what did I complete? What am I done with? What can I leave behind in 2025? And then 3 more cards that say, what do I still need to carry with me? What do I still need to work on in 2026? So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what have you already completed and what do you still need to work on.
Now, the route I've been taking is, and we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, is obviously the Season of the Witch, Oracle decks. They've got those for each of the Sabbats. But the creator put out the very first tarot deck and started with Yule.
I just have to say very quickly that I know you're thrilled with this because Yule is your favorite. And you are always looking for Yule tarot decks.
How many years did I bitch about not having a Yule tarot deck? And now all of a sudden they're like everywhere.
They're all over. So I know you have to be happy about that.
But I like the whole concept of, and maybe this was their intention, who knows, pulling cards from the Yule deck and then pulling a card from the Yule in bulk Oracle is a supplement.
I will get everyone using magpie decks before we're done. I know it. Come to the dark side.
As long as it involves tarot, I'm all about it.
You're
Magpie
there
or not, let's do it. So yeah, I like with that particular series being able to do that. And we all know I'm not a huge Oracle fan, although Season of the Witch is kind of turning my tide. But pulling that Oracle to kind of go with it, that little supplement. And I'm really hoping that they do the spring tarot deck real quick. Because how they did it is the tarot deck covers kind of the 2 holidays. So this one is Yule through Imbolc, and then pulling the Yule Oracle. When Imbolc comes, I'll do the same thing, but pull from the Imbolc Oracle.
Nice. That's a beautiful way to do it. I love that system. I am definitely a fan of using more than one tarot deck or using an oracle deck on top of your tarot deck. It gives you so much more depth and layers, I think. It's very interesting.
It's like an onion, more layers to peel back.
Right. That's exactly right. And with tarot, there's already so many layers, but it just starts to get a synergy when you start to put the cards together with other decks. You've started feeling that. I know you really liked pulling the Yule Oracle with the Yule deck and really got some fantastic readings that way.
But don't get me wrong, Christopher Hughes's Yuletide Tarot is still my top Yule deck.
His words are amazing, and Erin O'Leary Brown, the artist, her work is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So pull your tarot cards. Divination is wonderful, but don't forget to look into the past a little bit as well. 2025 is ending, so maybe on December 31st, do a reading of what are you leaving behind. Pull some cards for that. What can you finally lay to rest? What's finally out of your life for good? What have you completed? And then on the 1st, do another reading of
Where are we headed?
where you headed. What can you continue to work on? It's a good time
I
for
love it.
divination.
I love it. Every time's a good time for divination. What you talking about?
I agree. I agree. So happy almost New Year's, everyone. I hope you have a fabulous 2026.
And thank you so much for spending your 2025 with us. And we are totally looking forward to hanging out with you again in 2026.
I am looking forward to festivals and conferences and workshops and seeing people and meeting all you guys. I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings. Is there anything that you can think of for Back on the Broomstick? Any words or any goals that you have for the podcast, Chelle?
Keep on keeping on and keeping it witchy.
Ah, nice. My word is community.
Growth. That's my word, growth. You could equate that with community. Growth.
Growth and community are in perfect alignment, Chelle. We're going to do good things. I love it. Thank you all so much for listening. We will see you next year for Back on the
Wow,
Broomstick.
that just sounds weird. Happy New Year, folks. Cheers.
And keep it witchy.